An oil change? Why would anybody do an oil change on a car? Well, I don't normally do these, but since I'm going to be taking a little bit of a road trip, I think I'll change oil for the first time ever. Get him, Scooby. Now it's got about almost 4,000 miles on this oil change, but I'm getting ready to take a trip that's going to be about 3,200, 3,500 miles. So, time for a change. I don't know how it looks on the camera, but it's just kind of a golden color. Oil stays pretty clean when you change it about every 3,000 to 5,000 miles. Is this thing working? Yep. Before you let your car down, that's the time to double check your drain plug. The reason I know that is because come on, Scoops, move. I've let them down before, and I even backed them out of the bay and actually had to crawl under there and double check because I couldn't remember for sure if I tightened it. I've never found one loose, but I always have to double check. I think it's because I just don't trust myself. No, it's because I can't remember what I did a little while ago. I've always been like that. But better to double check. Anyway, you got to be asking yourself, is he serious? He's going to go on a 3,000, 3,500 mile trip with this car? Yes, I am. All you got to do is put some oil in it, check tire pressure, and get out of here. Actually, I'm going to check it over a little better than that, but I am doing it. This makes a great funnel for these motors because there's enough room to get in there with the handle. It just threads right in there and sits right there. And now all we have to do is fill her up. It ain't rocket science, but it is science. All right, right on the mark. Cap this thing off and call it good. Start it, see if any oil comes out around the filter, and I'll be happy with it. A couple more checks, and in a couple of weeks I take off on my trip. Woohoo! Tires. Well, it's a whole different story when you're getting ready to take a 3,000 mile trip. When you're getting ready to go to work or go down the road or whatever to the store, you just look at the tires, see if they got some grooves in them, and make sure they're not flat. And every month or so you like to check the air pressure in the tires. But when you're getting ready to take a 3,000 mile trip, you start to look at other things. And don't worry about those rims. They were like that when I got them, and they're dirty. You start to look at possibly how old are these tires, and you look at the date code and you find something wonderful like that. 34th week of 2012. That tire's approaching 9 years old. Yeah, I think it's time to change it before I take a 3,000 mile trip with it. Still got a little bit of life in the grooves, but it's pretty well wore down. The problem with the tire at this age is they can start separating at any time. And I mean, if you're just running back and forth to work and stuff and you're 10 or 15 miles down the road and you feel a little rumble coming from your tire, you can come home, check it, and find out, yep, one of my tires is going bad. But with a 3,000 mile trip, if the tire starts to go bad, you're at the mercy of whatever tire store you're closest to. So I'm going to put some tires on it. Other than that, I haven't found anything else the car needs. So where do you start? First, you got to pick out a set of tires. And what better time to just shop for some inexpensive tires and see how well they work out. I mean, getting ready to take a 3,000 mile trip. What could go wrong? And this is my slightly modified Harbor Freight tire machine. I'll put a link in the video description to a couple of videos that I have on it. I can tell you two things. Number one, this thing is not very good with low profile tires. And number two, it is not tall enough right in here to really handle even an 8-inch wide rim. So for standard tires, it'll do all right. But if you've got beautiful rims that you don't want to mess up, this is probably not the tire machine for you, but it does work. Because every move you make, you got to make sure you put one of these on to protect it. So there you go, going under. And she's on. Whew. All right, that's a workout. And now time to do a little balancing. Well, the tires are mounted, the balancing is done. Got my little protector back in there. Put all this stuff away. Get ready to take this thing on a 3,000 plus mile road trip and find out if these tires are any good. I have to say the road test went well. No noticeable vibrations at all, no shimmy in the steering wheel. Of course, only up to the speed limit. Nobody ever exceeds the speed limit. All right, that's out of the way. I will post in the video description updates on how these tires do after my 3,000 mile trip and at various times along the way. So if I have any problems with the tires, you'll see them in the video description. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff.